Hello and welcome to today's tutorial. Today's topic, we're going to be covering personal earthquake coverage. My name is Carly Rom. I am the marketing representative for Griffin Underwriting Services. Griffin Underwriting was founded in 1928. We still are family owned and operated by the Griffin family. We were one of the first surplus lines brokers in our region to be granted binding authority by Lloyd's of London. We're still very proud of that. We have just over 100 employees throughout 3 different offices in the Pacific Northwest, offering solutions for personal lines, commercial lines, transportation, as well as brokerage. We've written over $95 million in premium to date, and we are licensed in all 50 states, including the District of Columbia. So that allows us to work with agents nationwide. If you're new to writing in surplus lines, this little visual really helped me years ago when I was learning. So if you think of all of the market share sitting in a box that's on your desk, and inside that box is a ball. The admitted or standard market share is where it sits in the ball. That's where the admitted market share is. That's where you would place policies in-house. Outside the ball, within the box, is where we reside, the non-admitted surplus lines or E&S market share. So we try to tell agents, rather than let business walk out your door if you can't place a policy, quote unquote, within the ball, the admitted market share, check with us first. Maybe we can place it for you outside the ball. Here's just a quick list of the admitted markets versus non-admitted markets for those of you who are less visual and like to see more lists. So for the admitted market share, on the left-hand side, highly regulated by each state for their rates and forms. The carriers are accountable for paying the premium taxes as well as reporting to each state. The state guarantee funds are typically available if needed. Carriers can provide direct support to each customer. Agents are directly appointed to the company through which business is placed. Licensing requirements for the agents are typically pretty minimal, so most only are required to get a PNC license. And then agents can accept business from or split commission with brokers. When we're talking about the non-admitted markets on the right side of your screen, these rates and forms are not regulated by the states. Indemnity agreements are not backed by the state guaranteed funds. Surplus lines agents or brokers are accountable for paying premium taxes and reporting to each state. So for those of you who have written a policy within surplus lines, you'll notice that the premium, there'll be a pure premium number, and then taxes and fees will be on separate lines. Additional duties for originating agent and or surplus lines agent or broker are as follows. So there could be a documented due diligence form required. The customer disclosure form for non-admitted policies are typically included, and renewals are not guaranteed. So new documentation and additional documentation may be required at the end of each policy term in order to continue with coverage. And then some states require additional licensing from the originating agent in order to write policies in the surplus lines markets. So when we're talking about personal earthquake coverage, why would you want to talk to your insureds about that? Over 500,000 earthquakes happen a year all around the world. But only approximately 10% of homeowners have earthquake coverage. So for those of us in the Pacific Northwest, there's a couple of really big fault lines running from Washington State all the way down through California. Earthquake coverage is pretty important. We're going to talk about total insured value, or TIV, coinsurance, which is typically set at 80%, slope, firm and natural ground, fully earned fees, 25% minimum earned premium, and then the inflation factor. So examples of coinsurance, typically it's set at 80%. So if a value of the property is set at $250,000 and the coinsurance is set at 80%, the limit of insurance for it is set for $100,000. It would have a $250 deductible, and the amount of the loss is set at $40,000. So with all of those criteria set in place, you're going to take the value of the home, which is $250,000, and multiply it by 80%, which is $200,000. This is the minimum amount of insurance that is needed to meet the coinsurance requirement. You're then going to divide that $100,000 by $200,000, which is set at 50%, because in the example we had that we gave, we had said that the insurance limit was only set at $100,000. You're going to take that $40,000, which is the loss, and multiply it by 50%, which equals $20,000. And then you're going to subtract the deductible, which is $250, which leaves $19,750. So in this particular example, with the insured only having $100,000 worth of coverage, but they had a coinsurance standard at 80%, they needed to have $200,000. When they had a $40,000 loss, the policy is only going to pay $19,750. The remaining $20,000 and some change will not be covered. That will have to be at the expense of the insured. When we're talking about eligible risks, really any type of construction, we have carriers that will write for all construction types: frame, brick veneer, masonry, etc. They can have any type of foundation. We can write for condos, townhomes, mobile homes, as well as log homes. They can be secondary, seasonal, or tenant-occupied properties. The dwelling does not have to be retrofitted, and there's no limit on age of the building. We're actually quite competitive with older buildings. The total insured value, the TIV, we can write up to $10 million. For coverage A, which would be for the dwelling, the resident premises, including structures attached to the dwelling, are covered. When we're talking about condos and townhomes, for the dwelling, it's studs in. For coverage B, which is the adjacent structures, these are structures on the resident's premises set apart from the dwelling by a cleared space. There's also coverage C, which is the personal property. This is the property owned or used by you while located at the resident. And then lastly, coverage G, which is loss of use. Additional living expenses, if it's owner occupied, or the fair rental value if it's tenant occupied. All of these are some great features of this particular type of coverage. We do have capabilities to quote and bind online for selected states. You're going to want to log into our website, www.gogus.com. You're going to use your agent ID and password to log in. Then you're going to click on Internet Quoting, which is up at the top. You're going to choose Earthquake, Flood, and Landslide. Then you're going to choose Dwelling, Residential, Earthquake, and just go through the prompts. Here's some examples of screenshots of what this looks like. It basically just asks you questions about the property and the risk. So you're going to select the usage type of home. Once you make your selection, other required fields will pop up. Some of them may autofill. You're going to want to fill in additional fields so that the accurate TIV can be calculated. So we do need the year built. We need the number of stories, including basements, if they're fully furnished. Total square footage, including the garage. And we do need the construction type. So if 10% or more of the home is brick, it must be quoted as a brick construction type. And then we also need the type of foundation. So you'll see this blue screen. It will retrieve information to calculate the rates, as well as 3 different deductible options. So while it's doing so, hit continue, and you'll finish the application at that point. You'll need to complete this entire section. So we'll need the complete mailing address, the first mortgage, second mortgage if applicable. After this, you'll get another blue screen with a countdown. Usually it takes about 2 minutes. Then it'll move you forward, and you'll get your online quote with the 3 deductible options. So after you review your quote, you're going to want to save it, or it'll be saved for 30 days. You can make changes if needed. You can also print it, so you'll want to ensure your pop-up blockers are not on. And both quotes and applications will appear in the succession on screen for you to print out if you want, and then submit and bind. You're going to continue on to the next screen in order to bind. If you would like a quote which also includes landslide or flood coverage, you're going to want to click on the button to submit your risk to the underwriters. So we'll need, in order to bind, we'll need the effective date, which deductible option you're choosing, payment method. You can pay online, or you can follow the pay online link. Print the application and have it signed by the insured. Print any other required documents. They will be listed, such as a finance agreement if the policy qualifies for financing, a diligent search letter if there's one. If you already have the scanned signed copies of the necessary documents, you can just upload them here. Or you can mail in the payment if you don't make it online. We do not accept payment over the phone. So you're going to click to submit the underwriter to get the alternate difference in conditions or earth movement if this is a coverage that you want to add. And you're going to fill out 3 more quick questions and then hit OK to submit. All right, if you prefer the paper method, you can find our application online, www.gogus.com. Fill that out, scan it in, email it over to submissions@gogus.com. It'll be put into our system, handed over to our personal lines department for our underwriter to work on your quote, and they'll be in direct contact with you. We do offer commercial earthquake as well. This is something we do need a paper application filled out for. We can offer up to 15 million coverage, as well as 15 million for DIC and earth movement. Loss limits in excess, we can offer another 10 million. It is location defined as all buildings on a single property. So for instance, an application, or excuse me, apartment complex like Archstone Apartments. We can go as high as 46 million in our brokerage department. So, and we do write commercial earthquake in all 50 states. So when we're talking about commercial coverage, we've got the building or structures. Those will be listed on the deck page. We do have contents. These are located at the building that's listed on the deck or within 100 feet of the premises. This can include furniture, equipment, any tenant betterments. This coverage does include debris removal, as well as ordinance of law. It can include business income, and it can have additional coverages like sprinkler leakage, loss of rents. So how to quote commercial earthquake, you're going to want to get the application. You can get those from our website, or you can give us a call or shoot us an email. We can send you an application. That's not a problem. Once you complete them, you're going to scan everything in, send it over to that submissions email address. Same process applies as personal earthquake. Here's a couple quick little facts for you. How high of a deductible do you offer? So deductible options can differ state by state, but most often deductibles are set at 5, 10, or 15%. What is TIV? It's the total of limits A, B, C, and D added up together. Can you quote brick, veneer, and/or masonry? Yep, remember we can quote all construction type. Can you quote a renter's policy? Absolutely. What about a single conduit? Yes. How do you calculate it? The cost of everything from the wood, from the studs inward. Does the house need to be retrofitted? Sure does not. And then can you pay online? Absolutely. There are charges for online payments, $2.50 flat fee for an e-check, or 3.2% of the pure premium with a credit card. You're more than welcome to mail in a physical check. We unfortunately do not take any payment over the phone. If you have any questions or need any assistance at any time, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. For those Allstate agents, you can email csr@gogus.com or call us at 844-859-1766. For those non-Allstate or independent agents, you can email info@gogus.com or call us at 800-562-8095. Again, my name is Carly Rahm. I'm the marketing representative. I'm happy to help as well, so feel free to reach out to me. We want to thank you so much for working with us. We look forward to doing more business with you in the future. Have a wonderful day.